You mean to tell me if Steve Harvey, your favorite comedian, you mean you've been waiting for him to do stand-up for 15 years now?
Like I got somebody really attacking me right now. I mean, really going after me, man. I'm just waiting to see what God gonna do. Because they're gonna have to get on.
Well, like the Steve Harvey thing, I think he might have been doing it just move. You know, not maybe stealing my material. You know, maybe giving the benefit of the doubt. Maybe one of his writers did it. But we all know whose material it is.
So it looks like C. D. Williams might have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew because he might have just said Diddy off and made him super furious. And he has been allegedly sending some threats to C. D. telling him to keep his mouth shut on his business. C. Katt has had a lot to say about Diddy in the past couple of days alone, and Diddy is finally sick and tired of this business being out there. But then Katt is not the type to let himself be bullied and intimidated into silence, so not off. Not only is he not keeping his mouth shut, but he's also calling Diddy out, slamming him for trying to allegedly unalive him. Y'all, it looks like the situation is about to go from bad to worse cause Katt is about to light Diddy up.
They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about.
Now, y'all got to keep in mind that these are all allegations, and that Diddy has not been charged with anything, but there are whispers that go way back to the 90s about how Diddy allegedly unalived his ops. Now, there are whispers on the streets that Diddy allegedly put out a hit on Tupac because he had heard from the streets that Tupac was planning to out him for being gay, and on the down low, what made it even worse is that Tupac was signed to Death Row Records, which was owned by Diddy's biggest hope of all time, Shoe Knight. So Tupac was spilling the tea on Diddy would have really been bad for him at the time, and his career would have never been the same at that point now. Key D, the man who has been arrested on charges related to Tupac's murder, even claimed that Diddy put a $1 million bounty on Tupac's head for anybody who could unalive him, but one of KD's associates revealed that Diddy put payout on the $1 million, but it never got to Key D because somebody else got greedy and decided to, keep the money for themselves.
Dogs don't bark at parked cars. A dog only barks at a car that's moving and going somewhere.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, baby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. They came to me. I was supposed to be the 4th king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you shit on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. The reason you was supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth.
Now, one of Key's associates even revealed that the FBI was able to trace the money, confirming that Diddy did pay it out, but it didn't get to Keefe DFB. I said a dirty. Yeah, so the FBI told you the Zip kept that money as well. He says he's a dirty, everybody cross you, Sue again. The stories about Diddy being a real Batman have been around forever, and Cassie's lawsuit talked about it a lot. I'm not talking about the part where she claimed that he put his hands on her or pimped her out to other men. That was bad enough, but the part I'm talking about is where she claimed that he tried to take out his ops for his own reasons. Now, remember how I said that Diddy and Schneid were OBS? Well, Diddy held a lot of grudges over the years, allegedly, because Cassie claimed that Diddy tried to Take Suge out. She said, for example, on one occasion, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieve multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. She also claimed that Diddy allegedly tried to annul Kid C because he found out that Cassie had been dating Kid CE. After she left him, she said Mr. Combs told Miss Venter that he was going to blow up Kid's car, and that he wanted to ensure that Kitty was home with his friends when it happened around that time. K's car exploded in his driveway. So one thing about Diddy, it looks like his memory is long, and he knows how to keep a grudge for a long, long time. And he comes after his ops, especially those who tried to expose his sexuality. And that's what it seems to be going on here with Katt. Now, honestly, we should have seen this coming because the things that Katt said about Diddy in his Club Shay interview were wild. And that's to say the least. And get this, that wasn't the first time that Katt spoke about Diddy, because back in 2011, he tried to expose Diddy and Jermaine Dupri for allegedly being creepy towards young boys.
He got so big, and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part? What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie?
For context, Katt was referring to allegations that Diddy and Jermaine Dupri had allegedly essayed crisscross when they were both signed to Jermaine DPRI label. Jermaine had discovered both boys in a mall, and he immediately walked up to two children who were unaccompanied by an adult and offered them money and to make them superstars. But if that isn't creepy enough, then I don't know what makes it even creepers that both boys got the heebie-jeebies from Jermaine as well, because our instincts told them that he was a child PE. If you catch my DFT in an interview, one of the boys said we were just playing video games in this mall in Atlanta, when all of a sudden this dude comes up to us and said that he'd like us to work with him as rap musicians. We had no idea who he was. In fact, I told Mag Daddy that I thought this guy was probably a child molester. Yeah, he basically just looked at us all funny. They probably should have listened to their instincts, but again, we're children and promised them fortune and fame, so of course they took him up on his offer. But unfortunately, they allegedly fell victim to the sick things that happened in the industry, including, according to Katt, Diddy and Jermaine Dupri allegedly did swapsies with their artists, where Jermaine allegedly swapped the Crisscross Boys with Diddy's girl group, D. Decane. Allegedly, now y'all know how Diddy used to go head-to-head with Ario Day, one of the members of the group, because he didn't think she was submissive. Diddy desperately wanted to control everything about them, from their looks to their clothes and stuff like that, and Aubrey was not having it.
The reason you were supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. Not it was going to be called the Kings of Comedy. It was Steve's tour. These are the guys opening for him. Of course you got to close if it's your tour.
Katt claimed that Diddy and Jermaine allegedly SW of the Crisscross Boys and Danny K Girls, around which is just some nasty, nasty stuff, had also claimed that Diddy allegedly sees some artists who were signed the Bad Boy Records. Don't even get me started on the allegations about what went down between Diddy and Usher. That's another level of insanity. In an interview, Usher spoke about his experience with Diddy, saying, "I want to save some is for my book one day." I'll put it this way, there was a lot of sex. He also had an interview with Howard Stern where he claimed that he engaged in a lot of inappropriate stuff.